All right, everyone, welcome to our weekly live training. We're here again. Well, here on this live training, this is where we help runners, triathletes, and busy high achievers stay injury free, train smart, and finish strong without burning out.
Even if you're juggling work, family, life, and recovery.
Yes, I'm Coach Shangri-La. I'm two times triathlon Guinness World Record holder. So far, 48-time Ironman finisher, and I'm also the creator of Smart Training Method, keynote speaker and high performance triathlon and endurance coach. And tonight we have a story, we have a training that could change how you think about what's possible. Can't wait for this one. We also have here Coach Vinetta, who specializes in swimming.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
Yes. Well, before we dive in, okay, I want to know, this is the time for you to start engaging so you won't be bored. You won't fall asleep today. Okay, definitely. Well, we get that, like if you have your phone, put under a comment. I want to know what's your boldest race goal you've set for yourself. Okay, if you don't mind, just share, what's your age group, 40s, 50s, 30s, or even 20s, and your current goal. Okay.
Yeah,
Whether
so exciting.
Yeah, whether it's your first full Ironman, you're eyeing a first full Ironman next year, you're eyeing for a world championship qualification, or maybe you want a sub 4 marathon, or simply, well, coach, I just want to finish strong. I don't know that pace, but I just really want to be injury free. I want to be able to still remain sane.
Anyone who's a mom here.
Yeah.
Runner moms, busy moms, stay at home moms.
But runner mom, if that's you, all you do is running and you're eyeing that. Hey, I think I could do that. I saw my friends doing that. It sounds fun. It looks fun. Or maybe you finish already 70.3. Okay. And you're like, I want a little bit of challenge because if I'm able to do that 70.3, what's the next level? I want to experience that. Okay.
So if you're watching this live, put hashtag live so we can see and say hi to you guys. If you're watching this as a replay, put hashtag replay.
Yes.
We can also say hi to you guys when you watch.
Yeah, because we can see you, especially if you're typing up. And actually, Vinetta here has her laptop, and we also have another screen there, so we can see your questions. Because today we want you to get a lot from it. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this: have you ever looked at the Ironman distance? What's the distance? Put it in the comments. You guys know 2.4 mile swim, 112-mile bike, in a full marathon. That's 26.2 miles. And thought, I would love to do that. You start thinking about it, but not right now. Not with work, not with kids. I can't even do my own running. And now I have to drop off my kids. What if my kids get sick? It's too much pressure. Not with everything I'm juggling. Can you guys relate to that? All right. Well, tonight I want to introduce you to someone who thought the same way, but decided that she is not gonna wait for 10 plus years until her little kids, okay, move out, have babies also, or she become an empty nester. All right. She doesn't want to wait there because right now she's in her 40s and she wants to, like, hey, I want to be strong right now. I want to be stronger. I want to improve every single time. And I think triathlon is the way to go in terms of improving health and just putting a lot more adventure.
So she's a full-time professional, a mom of two young boys. She manages her household. She helps her husband run his business. And she became just now an Ironman finisher.
Yeah. So let me show it to you what we're going to be talking about here. Okay. So before we start talking, let me see. Here you go. And I'm going to share to you my screen. Finish first Ironman. Okay. As a mom, balancing family, work, and training while going all in on your Ironman dream. Okay. Even, even with a full-time job and kids. Okay. And if you're a runner and you're like, well, I want to still run a full marathon, I've been wanting to do that. We're going to talk about that as well, because definitely recovery is a key. So if you're having a hard time, like, how can I recover with all this? Can I actually do this? Swim, bike, and run, and then do Marine Corps or full marathon a month, about a month after first full Ironman. Is that even possible? We're going to tackle a lot of those doubts today. Okay. So, are you guys ready for this? Because So if you've ever told, maybe when the kids are older, maybe after this busy season, maybe one day, I could start thinking about that full Ironman. But when is that one day? When is that one day? Would you really want to think of that one day when your kids are out of home, you know? But where are you going to be at your body? How do you think you would be at later on? Okay. And if you're a mom and you're in 50s, you probably think, well, can my body can actually take this? You know, you have kids. What do you think your family would think that you're going after it, right? Well, so you're gonna want to lean in, okay? Because our special guest didn't is not just inspirational. It was today is gonna be strategic, intentional, and definitely brave. Because you probably seen like social media. Hey, congratulations! You finished. Oh my God, you're so strong. But what a lot of people don't really know is behind the scenes. And I want you, if you're wanting to go after for your first full Ironman next year, or maybe you've already done a first full Ironman and you're like, you know what, I'm doing the training, but how come I'm not recovering fast? How come I'm hurting myself? Is there a better way to train? We're going to talk about that too. Okay.
So Sarah's here with us live tonight, and she's going to share how she trained for her first full Ironman while working full time,
Yes.
raising kids, managing perimenopause,
Yeah.
recovering from injury, all of that. Like
anyone here can relate to that, okay? Because you're gonna walk a lot today, okay? Walk a lot today. You're gonna walk.
learn.
You're gonna learn a lot today of like how can you not feel guilty? You're gonna learn how to make guilty and you're not choosing, do I take care of my health and do my triathlon, my dreams, or do I take care of my family? Guilt, right? Do I be doing this? And what do I need so that we can like stabilize that so you feel good in both ways and you'll be able to juggle work, family, and training. All right. Well, we're gonna dive in. I know you've been waiting. Sarah, welcome, Sarah. How you doing? Sarah, remind me, where are you from?
From Owego, New York, upstate New York.
There you go, New York, East Coast, everyone. Thanks a lot, Sarah, for going in on this live training. I know you're a busy mom. You got your kids most likely sleeping, hopefully. All right. Well, congratulations. So, like you just did, we're super excited about this because I know you're going to be able to share and help a lot other moms. That's why I really want to invite you here. Well, you did, Sarah. You did first full Ironman. You did amazing, especially on the swim. 11th in your age group with a jellyfish with you throughout the loops, which we're going to talk about, everyone. If you did Ironman Maryland, you know it's about jellyfish. Hello, friends. We're going to talk about that a little bit, okay? But, like you did Ironman Maryland, and you also did your longest ride ever at the race and did a full marathon. And then about 5 weeks, about a month, you did your Marine Corps, which is also your dream. Like you've been wanting to do this, and you did amazing. 4:35 after just 5 weeks.
Nice.
And based on my experience, like when an athlete actually do their first full Ironman, it's like the body's in shock. The body's like, what are you doing to me? But what you did is actually you even did a great job in recovery and be able to do the Marine Corps. And now you're still training. So let me ask you, Sarah, before you went into triathlon or before you went into Ironman, have you been always like this, like just signing up for races? You're like, I'm gonna do Ironman, I'm gonna do this Marine Corps. Like, how are you in like athletic wise?
So I've always been very active. I mean, even in high school and stuff, I always played sports and everything. Did a little volleyball in college for a little bit until the nursing career and everything. I had to kind of change that and stuff. But I taught Zumba for 13 years. So I've always been active in everything. But I decided my first goal was before I turned 40, I wanted to run my first marathon. So I had done 5Ks, some half marathons and everything, but I just wanted to kind of continue to push myself. Even the older I get, I didn't want that age to be a number that, just because I'm getting older and have, everybody's bodies change and stuff, but I wanted to be healthy and I had, started a family and everything. So I just wanted to be as healthy as I could for my kids and to be positive role models and everything. But I did sign up for my first marathon. So I did that before I was 40. And then I don't know, just I guess the endorphins and stuff, just the feeling and everything of completing something like accomplishing one of your goals, it just kind of drives you to want to do more. And then I said, oh, next year I want to do maybe a sprint triathlon. And so I did that, and I wanted to just skip right from that. I actually don't even think I did an Olympic.
You skipped to 70.3.
Yeah, I went right to the 70.3. And then I did 6 days later, I did a sprint and an Olympic race. Yeah, and that was crazy. And then I guess I've just wanted to do more and more. And I don't know, it just drives you. And, with the support of my husband and the kids, like they love cheering me on at the races and everything. And I think it really pushes them to continue to, work hard, that if you really, you can prove to yourself, like if you want to challenge yourself and you can do hard things, that and as long as your mind is there and you have that positive mindset, that you can truly do anything. And so that's kind of what I've tried to instill in my boys and everything. And I don't know, I just love seeing them at my races, even at my Ironman, seeing.
Well, let me actually show you that. So like, Sarah, how old are your boys?
They're 8 and 10.
8 and 10, everyone. Anyone here who are moms and you have kids? What are the ages of your kids? Put it in the comment. We're talking about 8 and 10. What were you doing when you're 8 or 10? Or like your kids, right? Do you remember when when your kids were 8 or 10? So I'm gonna just show you beautiful kids. Look at that. Handsome. Cute. And of course, we can't forget Neil, the rock. Or husband, right? So, and then as you can see, like right here, isn't it amazing? You little, hey, mommy.
So
I go
cool.
like, and you see them at the course.
So
Okay.
cute.
Well, tired or anything, they would just show up, and I had no idea where exactly I was going to see them because it rained on the bike and everything. But anytime I needed a little pick me up, they were there screaming, Aaron with his little chicken and.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, what I heard from there is that you had this, like identity of an athlete since you were young, right? And you said since you were a kid, like teenager.
Yeah, teenager, like even in elementary school, like 7th, 8th grade, like junior high and stuff.
Gotcha. And of course, you give birth, and then now the kids were baby, and then now they're 8 and 10. And then once you are, before turning 40, you said like, I'm gonna do full marathon, right? Or like run, right? And what I see here is that you did not let go of that athletic identity. You stay with it the best you can. But also, I'm sure it's not straightforward, because I know a lot of athletes that I've talked to, like, Coach, I miss how I was back then. And now the kids are gone. I'm an empty nester, and usually they're in their 50s, which is amazing. They're thinking about themselves. But now for those who are in their 40s, do you mind? Can I ask you, Sarah, how old are you right now?
I'm 40,
40,
43, almost 44.
43, turning 44. Okay. So she's not waiting until she's 50. Hey, did you ask that? Can I actually do on full Ironman?
Oh yeah, I always wondered, and I was always intimidated by the distance, even like the half Ironman, just taking that step. I mean, it is definitely intimidating, and the miles, and even when when Coach Claudia signed up for like Placid, and then me signing up for my first full, once you hit that button, that clicking that registration button, I mean, you're committed, and oh, I was nervous till the time. I mean, I definitely kept putting it off because I just always had those doubts. Like, can I do it? I mean, it's 17 hours they give you, and just that endurance, just to be there and just to build yourself up to that and everything. But you truly can. So, and it doesn't matter what age. I'm honestly in better shape now than I was in my 20s. I weigh less. I'm stronger. My mind is better. I'm sharper. I feel like my time management. This has helped significantly with time management. I mean, I've always been okay with it, but definitely this has proven that, I had to step out of my element from doing, working out later to now I'm up early. And I was never like a morning. I mean, I was always a morning person, but not with my workouts. I would rather sleep in and as much as possible. And now I'm like up. I mean, with my Ironman training, I tried to get up. I mean, I was up at 3:30,
Yeah.
and Camden saying, Mommy, were you riding your bike? in the middle of the night. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't want it to interfere as much as possible. So that's like one of the ways that I had to make, changes and stuff. But ever since I've been with you guys, with Feisty Fox, I've definitely changed my, I don't know, just, you make the commitments and, you just have to prioritize. And I know my family definitely has always been number one, but I really want to be stronger, healthier, and just for them, obviously, and just to show them that they can truly do, anything as well. But you definitely have to make time for yourself. And I think it makes you mentally stronger as well. I think this has always been, I think that's why sports and athleticism has always been more my mental health. It's like my outlet, with work, stress, just kids, everybody, nobody's perfect. And it's just where I can just like let go. And it makes me a better mom, a better coworker, friend, wife, and everything. Even Neil can tell the difference if I, have a day, or if I've been sick or something like that. He's like, you really need to get back to your workouts.
Go now to your bike, go out. Well, Sarah,
so that you covered a lot. Let's unpack some of that. I love that. So before you signed up, you mentioned you had some concerns. There's things that made you a little bit nervous. So like, what were the biggest top 3 things that made you the most nervous about, committing to that? What were the biggest concerns?
The biggest thing obviously is the distance, and knowing if I could swim that far. Biking, definitely I was really nervous. And then just after biking 112 miles, it's kind of like I thought at that time, what an insult to have to run a full marathon after all of that. And that just was really intimidating. And then just, really wondering if my nutrition, because that had always been kind of a challenge for me prior to that. So just making sure that I wanted to make sure that was like my biggest thing. I wanted to make sure my nutrition was dialed in. And that I think I always, I tend to overthink, and I just, and you just have to trust the process and everything. But I was just worried about the cutoffs, if I would meet the cutoffs. And I kept saying, I'll never make the cutoff. And I remember Coach Claudia and Coach Jeff and you guys, oh, you're not even going to be flirting with the cutoffs. And, but it was like in my mind, what if I take this long on the bike, and then my transition time, it counts in. And yeah, obviously the jellyfish definitely added to my transition time. So which
well, Sarah, let me see. So before this year, because you mentioned about the bike, before this year, where was your bike? Your longest ride before this year?
probably was, I think I had done like an 80-mile like one time, but it was honestly my half Ironman distance, and maybe a metric century. I think I had done, but that was really
100K.
Yeah, honestly,
that was outdoor, right? So, and then you mentioned that, like your bike. Was there any challenges on the bike also before this year?
Before that, yes, I definitely, so I actually was sick last year, and I ended up with a condition called myositis. So I ended up having some leg weakness, and it took several months to recover from that. And so that was kind of a challenge, but, I had to really kind of work, at my cadence and everything. So I definitely had noticed a decrease in my FTP and my cadence. So I had to really work at that, and I was able to with you guys, with your guidance and structured workouts, which I love because I didn't have to put any thought into, I can imagine having to come up with a workout on my own and like, am I doing enough, or what do I do? Like it would take me days just to come up with probably one day, but that I definitely, you guys helped me significantly. I mean, I was down like, my cadence was like 70s, and now I'm like mid 80s, low 90s and stuff. So, and, I did honestly a pretty short period of time when I, think about it. And at that time was, I tend to be a little impatient. I want to see like, progress. That's just how I am. I just want to, I've always been like that, and
which is good, which is a good thing. You look at the numbers and you like that, like knowing where you're at, because you overthink. I mean, I could just imagine you said like you structuring your workouts, and right now you're just doing the workout and you're already overthinking, considering that Ironman is such a big goal. I mean, just signing up, it made you nervous. What more? You just juggling the family, the work, and actually asking, can I actually do it? It's much harder, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. And then what I like about what you said earlier is that I start doing triathlon and I start seeing more, which is you said you felt yourself become healthier, stronger, becoming a better mom, a coworker. Okay.
Better
Yeah.
time management, you mentioned.
You've gained skills with time management. When you think about it, like, well, now you have a lot more, but you would think like, oh my God, I can't take it. But what you did is that you took action, and when you took action, you've gained more.
Mhm.
Because what I've been seeing with a lot of athletes is that like, no, I don't want to even think about it because it's just too much. And
Mhm.
mainly because it could be because they're just talking within themselves.
Mhm.
And what if they talk to someone and just like, hey, coach, is it really possible that I can do a full Ironman? Right? Because you, for example, we have another goal we do on the next coming years, and you ask, hey, coach, is it possible to do this? You're not committing just yet, but you're seeing if it's feasible. And that's a start, right?
So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to go back to like, so you had these concerns, the things that you were nervous about before committing. What made it go away,
Oh, yeah.
or what made it okay for you to figure out, okay, let me click that button. Let me sign up. It's okay. It's gonna be fun.
Neil was really, he's so optimistic, and he's always looking at the, this, it's not that you can't do it. You look at the things of why you can do it, not why you can't. And, so he just has always been he's like my number one cheerleader, honestly. Like he's always rooting for me and pushing me. And honestly, he's so selfless. Like he literally will put, I don't know, just us, like the family and me, and like my wishes, my happiness and everything above his and everything. But that was the biggest thing, just like not talking me into it, but just saying, you've done this, like look at all this you've done in this short period of time. And with Coach Shangrilla and Vanetta and Claudia and Coach Jeff, and all the structured workouts, they take the guessing, all the guessing out of it, and like they give you your structured workouts, you have their feedback, all the videos, the even the support of the tribe, because I ask questions, I ask questions. And
You do.
oh,
You
definitely.
want to know everything.
Honestly, but I think in the tribe as well, like you gain another family. You guys have been my family for, oh my gosh, I think going on like 4 years or 3 years.
4 years going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going on 4. And but I don't know, it's just you have that support as well. So even like if you have I don't know, a question about a bike or anything like that, or a bike computer or something like that, people give you like the input and everything. And I don't know, I think we learn so much from each other too, even our race reports, race
Oh,
recaps.
yeah. Yeah.
I love, like Tim just, crushed his Ironman and everything. And oh my gosh, super fast. I told him I wanted to be like him when I grow up. He's so fast. I
Yeah.
feel like with you guys, we're constantly pushing each other. And I don't know, I think you learn about so much about yourself throughout the whole process and the whole journey. I've learned so much about myself just in the last 4 years. And I never would have thought 4 years ago that I could have ever done a marathon, done a sub 4 marathon, done, the races back to back that I did. And even now, just doing my first full Ironman, and then,
Doing
wondering
record.
as well, within basically a month. And yeah, it's just incredible. I don't know. I love
Actually,
can't wait to see what else I decide to do.
yeah, I'm excited too. Well, there are three things that I got there because you talk fast. I'm like trying to catch everything. You guys getting a lot from this, everyone. I'm gonna I got three things there. Okay. Well, one thing, what's great, what her husband did, Neil. Okay. Neil said, like, got the evidences.
Mhm.
Okay. Evidences, which is like facts. Go back to the previous history, which you guys can do this one. If you're like, okay, can I really do an Ironman, a full Ironman? Go back to the past and see how you've been performing. Okay. Well, for Sarah, she's been with us since 2023. So about 3 years now.
Mhm.
Okay. So he goes back, okay, well, here you go. You did this, you did this. And actually, Sarah also got all these posters that we've been posting. And I'm sure she saved this one. So all the achievements that she had gotten, she goes back to this, okay? From the half marathon, the full marathon, the PRs, the back-to-back 70.3s, because those have happened, and that is you. Okay, so everyone, for if you guys are listening to this, you want to go back to the past, because right now, when you're about to do something big, the brain says, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Are you sure?" There's like doubts.
Mhm.
But the thing is that is normal, okay? That is just being human. And then now what goes in the mindset, it affects the emotions. And what goes to your action is actually how you're feeling. Well, let's change that. You can change that by going to the facts, which Neil helped you, going like, hey, you did this one and you've been there, and you have coaches that support you. Okay, so find the evidences that will do that, wherein you can do it, that it will work. And that's what Neil said. Good job, Neil. There you go. So the next one, yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Great. And honestly, we went prior to signing up, we discussed this as a family, like literally the four of us sat down, even the kids. And because, it's been on my bucket list to do. And I know that obviously they're getting older, they're getting busier. And, and I knew that, Neil and I kind of sometimes try to divide and conquer, as far as work and even his business and, with the boys and everything. So, I told them that, there might be times when I might miss a baseball game, because mommy would be out riding, doing like a 7,500-mile ride and stuff like that. So as it got later into the training, I knew that I definitely would miss some things, but we were all on board. And, there was times that the first time I remember it was Mother's Day that I got upset because I knew I was going to miss a soccer game. And even though, I was able to go to the early one, but and Camden looked at me and he said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" Because I got a little tearful. And I said, "Well, I just hate missing things and I'm really sorry." And he said, "Mommy, you have a big race you're training for. You need to get out there and train so that way you're strong on race day." And this is my 10-year-old telling me this. And, so I'm like, "Okay, buddy." And, I went out there because that mom guilt is real. And, what, I mean, I did everything I could in my power to, get up early, 3 o'clock and stuff like that, just to get stuff in so it wouldn't interfere as much. But it did a little bit and everything. But I mean, we decided as a family and it went in, and I don't know, it was awesome just to be able to, sit down together and decide and that way we're all on board. So
absolutely, because it's not just Sarah. It's the family's commitment, and you guys did a great job in actually even explaining and having your kids understand that. Okay, that's huge, everyone. Just got that a lot in. Okay. Well, the next one, the second thing that I got from earlier was that you are surrounded, and until now, you're surrounded by like-minded individuals that push you to be better and also learn from each other and get the support that we're looking for.
That's
and not you guys, and me too. You guys keep me on my toes, like, hey, they're working out, I better do my stuff too and take care of myself. What I say, I do. Okay. Now I think I got those one already. Okay. Let me see. Well, we covered that one. So now I want to ask you, what do you think are the top 3 things? I know you probably say a lot, but what are the top 3 things that you think this one became possible? Your full Ironman.
Why this became possible, honestly, the family support, and then just having you guys, the structured workouts. I don't think I could never have done this without, me reading. I know other athletes that I know, friends that haven't had coaches and stuff, and they've read books and stuff. I don't think I could have done. I just like to be able to be focused on, what I have at hand and everything, like the workout and everything. That way I know I have the guidance and everything, and I can, ask questions. And then I get support as far as nutrition and everything. And you guys help me a lot with the nutrition on, what wasn't working, why I decided we needed to change that and everything. And then just trusting the process. Like I said, I overthink about a lot of things. So, not looking at all the gadgets and the numbers and stuff too, but just, trusting that workout at the time. And, as things got, the intensity and the volume got bigger and harder and everything. And, having those doubts, but just trusting the process, trusting you guys. Honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do it without all that. So, and the tribe, of course, honestly, the tribe, the support. And I think it is very important to be connected with like-minded individuals, honestly. Like I have a couple other friends that are in the tribe and everything. And, they feel that they can't talk to like their friends, their family, their coworkers, because they're like tired of hearing about this. But then, everybody that's into, triathlons and running and stuff, you bounce things off of each other, and just having that support and the accountability is huge. And it keeps.
Right. Yeah. So you said family support, the coaching support, having that nutrition, structured workouts, being surrounded with like-minded individuals.
Being able to talk to people about the things that you are relevant and are important and that need kind of figuring out.
Yeah. Well, a lot of individuals would say, well, you know what? I'm going to get a training plan then. I want a structured workouts. Well, the training plan that we give for Sarah is for Sarah, okay? The one that would fit to her schedule. And considering that you have two boys, you got, all this extracurricular activities. And the thing about it is that you can get a plan, and there's a lot of them training plan and a lot of other coaching companies, or AI, you can do that, okay? But the thing about it is that, you're basically, depending on something like more of a paper map. Do you guys remember those when there's no Google Map? Okay. I
I
just
do.
remember that.
I do.
Like those thick book, or maybe, I don't know, Atlas or something. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna write down, like the usual, like,
The
okay,
route, yeah.
turn right on this street, left on this street. But then now you encounter an accident, freeway close. What are you gonna do? Right? Well, now we do have the Google, okay, or map. Okay. So now, well, that's what we do for Sarah. Okay. And the next thing is also, we don't just, it's not a copy and paste, because Sarah is unique. And we don't create workouts for the next year, because Sarah, I don't know how Sarah's gonna be. Everything's changing, and we gotta adapt where the athlete is at. Okay. And like, for example, she just said, like, about like medical issue. How do you go about that and then also still be able to do a full Ironman? So what we do is that we create workouts on a weekly basis, and we don't create right away. And we actually, all the coaches create it over the weekend. We give feedback. Okay. We give feedback throughout the day. Sarah's great in communication. Give feedback. We give feedback, and how we give feedback, it's not just about, hey, great job, Sarah. No. And a lot of it is a lot of teaching. A lot of it is like, hey, Sarah, we need to increase your cadence on this hill, it's going down. So it's more strategic. So ask yourself, if you're going for a full Ironman or 70.3, that next big audacious goal, okay, what could you be missing? If you're missing that, then you could just be following a plan, which is okay. But if you want something wherein you're feeling strong and staying injury free, and you're able to fit in everything without going crazy, then you would want to have feedback. Because if you only have 1 hour to work out for the day, you might as well do it the right way and intentional, and you understanding what really you're doing, because it's not just about finishing the distance. It's about how you manage your energy during training and putting things together, swim, bike, and run. And she also does strength workouts as well, and mobility workouts. And then also still have the energy for family, for work. So you won't be falling asleep at work. And she's a leader, in her work. She has to step up, right? So the structure of the workouts has to be flexible. Sometimes Sarah's like, I'm done, or like, I can't do it.
I love about the feedback and stuff. And I know weekly, I give my availability. So if for some odd reason the boys 4 games on one day, I might not be able to do as much on a Saturday, or maybe that could be my rest day or something. And then, but just even if something is, if I'm questioning something, not everything's always perfect with your body and stuff, and you just always have to listen to your body. But I love the feedback. So if something is bothering me or feeling tight, you guys will throw some other body maintenance, honestly, and I could never have recovered as fast as I have for all of these races without the body maintenance, which I never was introduced to before. I mean, I always stretched and everything, but it's totally different. The mobility, the strength, it's focused. You guys, if I've had a calf issue, you've had like, focused, body maintenance for that. Or if it's a shoulder, maybe I did something weird in the pool or something different, or if I slept wrong or something,
Right.
into that. But I love that. And so it isn't, it's not just like a, if you had like a, I don't know, just like a program or something that doesn't have like the individualized, kind of like a care plan, like nursing. I'm a nurse, so like, but it is individualized, and and it can change depending on what's going on, in your life. At that, I definitely have had some medical challenges and stuff like that, physical and stuff like that. So, and I've been able to work through all of that and focus on the things at those times. Even with the Ironman training, I had a couple of bumps in the road and stuff early on, or middle of the training, that, I tried to focus on things that I could do instead of the things that I couldn't do. So there was always something that I could work on. So,
Yeah.
and that
Love
kept
that.
into it as well.
Yeah. Well, I did mention about the feedback earlier. Okay. And then the next one is that in terms of the workouts, like Sarah would say, "Hey, coach, this is my availability." And the next thing also is that that's actually besides the communication during the daily thing on the weekend, that's where in us coaches look into, okay, what's the best strategy for next week so we can make the most out of it? Does Sarah need help on her calf? Okay, we got to do the body maintenance, which she mentioned, which actually helped her to finish her full marathon, Marine Corps. Okay. And if you did Marine Corps, they changed the course. It's a little bit more hilly. Okay. And she did it 4:35. And that was like 5 weeks after Maryland. Okay. That's insane. Awesome. Fantastic recovery. And she mentioned body maintenance, and everyone in Feisty Fox coaching loves it. I love it too. It helps you to stay injury free. And it's actually one of the pillars. If you haven't gotten the book, I discussed that here in Smart Training Method. And basically, like a lot of athletes stretch. And we do have yoga instructor that are athletes, and it's not enough. It has to be a complete. And, I've also gotten strength as well, but it's not enough too. Okay. And then also, because like you don't have a lot of time, you wouldn't want to, I mean, if you have a lot of time, you can, but if you don't have a lot of time, you want to focus on the main weak area and then work on it and be able to understand your body. Because maybe, yeah, sure, your calf could be complaining, but could it be because you are weak on other area of your body and it's your calf that's actually taking the load, right? And having that understanding will help you to really, okay, well, I only have like extra 20 minutes. What can I do? And that's what the body maintenance is. And I did talk about that in the book and right here. So we do 5 pillars. If you're going for a full Ironman, a lot of athletes get blindsided. Coach, I want the training plan. There's a lot of training plan there, and a lot of them are free. You can even get that popular book where, hey, 16 weeks or like 24 weeks to full Ironman. But then you're just getting that map that's paper, there's no detour. And also you want to make sure you get all these 5 pillars: training, nutrition, body maintenance, which she mentioned. Okay. I'm gonna just body maintenance is being proactive, not really reactive, meaning that you don't do it when you're already injured, because that's late. And then that's going to suffer your consistency. And with full Ironman training, you want consistency, right? So now for you to be able to be consistent and for you to be able to keep showing up, because you don't want also to just keep showing up and you're dragging your legs and you're hurting. Because if you're hurting during training, ooh, it's going to be so bad in full Ironman.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
Yeah. If you're hurting on the run on your standalone, then that's going to be a problem in full Ironman. So body maintenance is this, okay? It's proactive approach. And how could it become proactive? What Sarah would do is like, hey, coach, something is going on. It's not perfect. Life is not perfect. Here you go. I have a problem. Okay. So she would give feedback, and then we will assign her, hey, Sarah, I need you to do this. And so the next step, we give her a solution. Okay, so it includes soft tissue care, mobility, work, strength, and stability exercises and functional movements. And it's very targeted, very similar to what a physical therapist would do, but this one will be like, okay, because it changes, it changes what your body feels, and we want to make sure that we address the main weak area. You guys got a lot from that? I hope so. Okay. Let me see the next one.
Yes, we have a couple of people asking some questions that maybe we can look into answering those.
Good.
We have a nutrition question and a mindset question.
Thank you. Whoever asked that question.
We have Barbara and Sean asking.
Yes. Thank you for asking that question, because Sarah answered that. She said nutrition. It wasn't perfect, right? It wasn't perfect. Okay. And so now, so what we've done here, let me show it to you guys. So, full Ironman, the longest is the bike. If you're unsure about your bike nutrition, okay, you want to tackle that. Basically, what you want to start on is that first, okay, Your nutrition on your full marathon is not going to be the same thing on your full Ironman, okay? Because yeah, you're doing bike, okay? And then now it's not just that, it's also your digestive system, making sure, hey, is your digestive system still functioning after a 112-mile bike, okay? So now the strategy that we do with our Feisty Fox athletes is, for example, we assign Sarah, like, hey, Sarah, you're going to go out there, okay? You have like 80 miles or 70 miles. So what we consider is the weather, how Sarah's feeling, okay? And basically what we do, so like for example, we assign on weekends, Saturday. On Monday, Tuesday, we're working on her nutrition. She's giving feedback. Hey, coach, this is what's working. I don't know if it's working. Tell me what to do. What's the amount, timing, okay? And when we communicate that, it's not just listing. And a lot of athletes do that. And I used to do that too. I list it. But the thing is that you don't want to get blindsided. You want to see the numbers and break it down. So what we do have for our athletes is that we do have the Feisty Fox nutrition sheet. So this one is actually about 7 hours of bike. Okay. And this one was well, no, it's actually Century Ride. Yeah, it's Century Ride. So there's like before bike and then the bike. Okay. And then what we do here is that we break it down to the what to eat, drink. The next thing is the timing. Okay.
When?
The timing and also how much. Okay. Now,
too much, too fast, or too little, too late.
Yes, not good either. And then now what we also want to see are the breakdown. So we track the calories, carbs, sodium, and potassium. Okay. Now the timing, there's a lot of timing here. And then the next thing, this one, and then we do have the requirements here. Okay.
And then we have a connected question that how do you manage the training nutrition in a household where others may need, other foods? But the thing is, you probably made this nutrition kind of a separate thing and a lot easier. How about you share a little bit of that?
That is one thing too with the training and everything and time management. So I meal prep on the weekends. So on Sundays, Neil and I actually do it together. So I definitely, had changed my diet, worked with a nutritionist and everything because I was having some GI stuff. So I ended up following like a low FODMAP diet, but it's not for everybody. But I worked with your dietitian and everything. And so I would have to actually eat other things. So I did meal prep my stuff, but I always ended up having theirs as well. I mean, they eat a lot of the same things, but that was something significant that I ended up doing that helped me along the way. So I would eliminate, when I knew I would have a long brick and stuff, I would, I ended up doing like dairy and gluten-free because I felt better, and it might not be for everybody. Not every athlete has to do that, but I definitely had less GI upset and everything. And it helped me even in with like the temperature changes and stuff like that. Cause sometimes, with the humidity, the heat and stuff like that, that adds a whole other element. But yeah, so we try to do everything together, as far as like the meals and stuff. We eat some of the similar stuff, but I had to definitely for my breakfast, my lunches, otherwise if I don't prep it and everything, I might not eat as much. And obviously when the intensity and the volume and everything, you have to eat more because you're constantly burning. Even when you're resting and stuff, you're just burning. And I remember I was like snacking and stuff because I would feel like my stomach was growling all day, but it was just like I was, when everything increased, I was just like burning so much. But that definitely helped. And then just you guys tracking my like sodium is huge. So that was something I learned that I was significantly lower in and that my body needed. I did a sweat test and everything, and my sweat rate was higher. And everybody's is a little bit different. So once I changed my type of sodium tablets that I was taking and took more and felt significantly better as well. And same with hydration, working with you guys prior, I was way lower in my hydration. So no wonder why I felt tired, fatigued, and, didn't have as much energy. So definitely the fueling nutrition is huge. I think that's one thing, number one, to dial in, increase, maybe like a half marathon is different than obviously a marathon and a half Ironman distance. And then, and obviously you need even more for a full Ironman because that could really definitely break you. But I love
for those super detailed details. Yeah.
Nutrition
That's
is
awesome.
such a huge thing, everyone. And like Sarah said, it could be different for you. And what I love about it is that, so like what happened is that, my recommendation, if you're like, okay, my gut is pretty sensitive, you're that type, is that my suggestion is for you is to start tracking. Are you gonna say add some more?
Exactly what I had to do. I have a sensitive gut. And then, by you having like the scheduling the longer bricks and, Coach Jeff and Coach Claudia, that's where you trial it and stuff. And if you end up feeling something, you need to definitely like write it down. And, I would give that feedback. And, that's where we would figure out if you needed less sodium, more sodium, or back off on something or tried something different, completely different. So, but I definitely have more of a sensitive stomach than probably most. So,
And it's not just that, also the timing as well. How often do you drink? How much do you drink? And it can be tricky when it's cold, when it's hot, and then now you're going to a race that's different climate as well. So one thing, basically, what I'm trying to get at, what we're trying to get you guys understand is that definitely start somewhere. Okay, start tracking. Okay, start understanding your body, and that is, you can understand your body once you start tracking. Once you start like, okay, I eat something, this is how I feel, so you become more mindful of what you put in your mouth. Okay, now the next thing, so what you eat outside training affects your performance. At the same time, it's much more crucial also what you're having on the training when you're asking your body to really work hard. Okay, so for Sarah, it wasn't straightforward. And for a lot of other athletes, especially because you're out there training and it's a full Ironman, a lot of things can happen. So with Sarah, there's a lot of iteration of the plan based on the feedback, changing different things, and until like, okay, we're happy about this one. So one data set of what you have, you need to test it several times. And some individuals, they would have like a dietitian and then a coach, but you want to have a person that can actually see everything. Okay, because what you do during training would affect your nutrition, and what you have on your nutrition will affect the training, so it has to be tied up. It may look good on paper, like right now I'm having you guys see the sheet here, right? So you may have this one, but you want to also have an expert and an experienced coach wherein you understands you. So your feedback, if you have a coach, so Sarah is very good in communicating the feedback. Now the coaches, we understand her more. Okay. And we're able to recommend things. Okay. And nutrition is very important, not just for the workout. Okay. Because a lot of athletes, well, coach, I'm okay. I got it done. But guess what? Your nutrition for that workout, it affects your recovery. It affects of how you're going to show up on the next coming workouts, especially full Ironman. That's a big deal. Okay. Did that answer your question? Thanks for the question. I really appreciate that, because I said I want to talk about that, but then now you reminded me. Perfect. Because that's a huge thing. Let me see. Vineta. Okay, so now how do you feel about you being able to actually run the Marine Corps marathon
I honestly,
and then recover?
I was nervous about that because just I didn't know how, doing my first Ironman, I didn't know how long it would take. I know some athletes it takes up to 3 months. Sometimes it just depends, but I definitely think, the I really focused on nutrition, sleep, hydration, and just listening to my body. And I knew that those first couple of weeks post Ironman that I, really had to listen and everything. And even though my Garmin watch would tell me I was fully recovered that Tuesday after, even though when I was doing recovery swims, I remember the first couple at rate a couple days after my Ironman, I was still out there doing recovery swims, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm tired. I definitely felt it, and everything, but I just listened to my body, and I really, honestly, I was sleeping more, and even during the whole entire training, you definitely have to prioritize sleep. Sleep is huge on recovery, nutrition, with protein, making sure you're getting enough. I don't know, and just massages and stuff like that, but uh, I didn't know how I was gonna feel, and I just kind of had an open mind. I didn't know that close, I didn't anticipate having those races that close together because I thought I was going to do a different Ironman and I'd have 12 weeks in between, but then it was 5 weeks, and I'm like, I just want on my goal. I changed my goal to be just, I want to finish and I want to have fun, and all my other races I've had a time goal. And honestly, even for my Ironman, I just wanted to finish and feel strong and the best that I could. And so that's why I had a huge, obviously, focus on nutrition and everything. But I felt great for the Ironman, or for the Marine Corps. That's a race that I've always wanted to do. It's the People's Marathon. It was their 50th year, 50th anniversary of the Marine Corps. And it was just amazing. We had, it was the largest field size. So it was like 44,000. And I think only 31,000 finished. Because there's gauntlets that you have to meet, 3 gauntlets. So it's bridges that you have to meet by a certain time frame and everything. And I remember I met the first one at 10:30 and I had to beat there, or it was a little after 10. I had to be there by like 12:30. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm okay. But I took pictures, I took videos.
I had a great time, Sarah. I mean, you know, being a full marathon, like 5 weeks after, Ironman Maryland just really tells how much your body has gotten stronger, not just stronger, but actually be able to recover. Everyone, so it's not, so a lot of athletes like, Coach, I want a plan, but it has to be structured plan that actually looks into the bigger picture of what your goals are and actually adjust it also to what you want to make happen. Because when she wants, hey, Coach, I want sub 4, then it changes again. Okay. Hey, Coach, I want to just have a great time. I want to be injury free. And she got that as well. And that was with hills, a lot of hills. And then also she mentioned nutrition, sleep. Okay. Those are huge. Well, Sarah, I want to ask you. Okay.
Yes, for other moms considering Ironman, but a little bit afraid to commit, what would you tell them?
Well, they definitely need to commit. You can truly do anything. And, even being a woman, a mom, you just have to do it. Honestly, I think once you do it, you're committed, and it's kind of like drives you. I don't know. And there's something about, any accomplishment and everything, but these races and especially the Ironman, it's just something nobody can take away from you. And there's only so many people. Like, what is the percentage? It's like 0.01% of the population.
Especially for females.
Yeah. And nobody can take that from you. And it's something that, you'll have that forever. And you definitely need to do it. Honestly, I had doubts. I was scared to death. I didn't, honestly, when I first started, I'm like, I never envisioned that I would ever do a full Ironman. And then, I don't know, it just came into my mind, and I always like a challenge, and I like to be better and stronger. And, you definitely just have to go for it, because you truly can do it. And I've said it a million times, as long as you believe that you can. And sometimes you need a little, push and everything. Like, I had my husband and my coaches and stuff that knew what I was capable of. And, but truly you can do anything as long as you set your mind to it.
You guys heard that? You can do
Yes.
it. Okay. But definitely, now, when you do it, you ask yourself, well, how do I want to do it? Because it's a commitment. How do I want to do it? It doesn't end up just on the finish. Yes, you want to be strong. Yes. How do you want to finish? I want to have strong finish. But then it's during the days in and out, training, work, family. How do you want your journey be on your full Ironman? And Sarah has an amazing journey. It wasn't perfect. There's a lot of challenges. Guess what? She has learned so much. She has become stronger, and she got the skills. Hey, I learned about the nutrition. I learned about how to recover fast, and I learned about, how I've gained skills, time management, and I'm able to show up for my kids still. And I'm able to communicate with them in a way that brings harmony to everyone. Everyone's happy and excited even, and become an example.
I love how each race that I've had different goals. So last year I had it was more focused on like running, and I have always wanted to do a sub 4, and I did a sub 4 in Berlin. And so I knew that the Ironman, I just wanted to have, it was my first, and I actually never thought I'd want to sign up for another, but I definitely do, just to prove like I can do better, because that's just something you want to continue to work for and stuff. But even that, and then the Marine Corps, when I ran that, I know that the Ironman training was a little bit different than like, we did speed workouts and stuff, but it was more endurance. And so even when I ran the Marine Corps, I think prior to that, obviously I had the 2 weeks, I had like weeks of recovery. And then I think I had gotten up to like 12 miles or 13 miles prior to running the Marine Corps, but I ran the entire thing. I think I stopped once just because I needed new water to fill my and stuff like that. But I felt so strong and I just kept going. And I was worried about that, just because I just did the Ironman, but, it worked. Just the recovery was so important. And, no, I can't thank you guys enough for everything. Honestly, I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, we're excited. We're excited, what's more to come now that you just mentioned you want to do another full Ironman. All right. Well, Sarah, we are so proud of you. As I mentioned to you, you are amazing. I've coached for so many years, and there's not one of the challenges that a lot of moms have are their kids, work. How can I actually do it? And I am just so glad that you were able to share what you've experienced and not like, not hide things. You just say it. Here you guys are, here's how it is. It's not the all rainbows and flowers, but it's possible. You guys can get it done. And hopefully you guys were taking notes. Those are the keys. We talked about it. Training, structured training that fits your schedule. Okay. Body maintenance so you can continue to be injury free, much stronger. Recovery is much better. Definitely nutrition. The mindset portion, whenever it's going down, you got the support. Okay. Someone, you can talk to someone who knows really well where you're at the race. And of course, race strategy. Okay. And then one of the things that we kind of touch base is that in training, you don't want to go just distance or the endurance. You want to also make sure that you keep working on your technique so you can be efficient and you actually reduce injury risk. And then, of course, pace targets on your workouts. You want to be intentional. And of course, race skills. Hope you guys got a lot from that. Sarah, thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate that. And we're so proud of you. We're really, really proud of you. And I'm sure your family, your kids, your husband, and your friends are so proud of you.
Crossing that finish line and just seeing them and screaming for me and cheering, I knew I was tearful emotionally. There's so much emotion and everything, but I knew we had done it together. And that's what my husband said to me, seeing me cross the finish line and when they got to see me at the end and everything, he's like, we did it. And, so it was accomplishment for me, but for them. And I still remember like Camden saying to me and Aaron, Mommy, we can't believe you did that. You did that all day long. We couldn't have done that. I'm like, yes, you can. No,
wow.
Out there that has doubts and everything, definitely just sign up. And then definitely get a coach, get Coach Shangri-La, Coach Vanetta and Coach Claudia or Coach Jeff. Honestly, they're amazing. And you'll be amazed at the progress and everything with structured workouts and coaches and the guidance, the proper guidance.
Well, Sarah, you've shown that it's possible to go after really big dreams like full Ironman and even backing it up with full marathon right after, while balancing a lot on your plate. You've shown like how it's possible for you to be able to still enjoy everything and actually show up much stronger than you were. You've gained a lot of skills. And for everyone who's watching this,
if you want help with your training, whether it's for a full Ironman, half Ironman, or just getting your health back on track, you can type #SmartPlan in the chat and I'll reach out and see how we can help you.
Yes. So thank you, Sarah, for being here and sharing your incredible journey to everyone watching. Your best experience can still be ahead of you. It's about training smart, staying consistent, and focusing on what really matters, your health, your mindset, and definitely, and most importantly, enjoying the process. Yes, the finish line is there, but it really is the journey and the things you're gaining every single day. Okay. Remember.
And Coach, if I could just say one other thing, just once you start and get committed, it's literally just the beginning of your journey. And I just can't wait for others to get started because it truly is so rewarding and you just have to commit. And then it all literally goes from there. And I honestly can't wait this is just the beginning for me too. So I can't wait to.
Once you guys get committed, the brain says, okay, you're committed, find ways. And you will, especially committed. Okay. You're gonna find ways. All those figure it out before you commit, that's gonna take a long time. Okay. If you commit, guess what? You're gonna start moving. Okay. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna move.
Just getting started, and then it all falls into place, honestly.
Especially for the overthinkers.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. Let me just put it down here, the sheet and everything. Risk. No, just commit first.
You take it all away, honestly, that stress. You don't need it's so much less off of your I don't know, it's just truly amazing. And that's exactly what I needed, and I'll never honestly turn back. So yeah. So thank you
All
very
right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for having us here, for helping you guys out, for allowing us to share all this golden nuggets. And I cannot wait. Who here will sign up? If you did sign up for next year, message me, comment down under the reply. We want to know.
Yes. And let's thank Sarah for sharing all her wisdom with us today.
Put hashtag value if you got a lot, or what are the insights that you get, or what is the one thing that you're going to work on today besides signing up. Later, everyone. Bye. Bye, Sarah.
much.